Um, Working with Kate is amazing. She always brings a positive attitude, and it doesn't matter where you're at. She has a tool that will help you get to that next step. Um, and she be soft or stern or somewhere in the middle, just depending on who you are and what you need.
That's also very true. Soft and stern, or anywhere in the middle. I really do change up my attitude in healing on a regular basis, and it's something that really threw me off when I first became a practitioner, because I felt like, shouldn't I be trying to always have the softer approach? Or, hey, shouldn't I be trying to always just bust open to the real direct healing? Like, why am I afraid of offending anyone ever? Maybe for good reason. People are sensitive, you know. I choose to work with a highly sensitive population. And that kind of requires me taking some different attitudes or perspectives, sometimes just to put us up against something that's different than our own internal narrative. I was raised in a really, I would say a fairly solid and stable household, and also had a good, decent amount of sort of tough love energy. My father was raised by like a Scottish doctor, and then my mother was really kind of like a tough love Dutch woman raised, on a tobacco farming family. And so they're both like independent individuals. And I picked up this type of like energy, but I certainly by no means think that the way that I ambitiously and kind of like, maybe determinedly, maybe in a very Aries like fashion, live my life. And I kind of go full force. And I recognize that's not really everyone's speed, to be honest. And so I really do hope that, and I feel that when I work with clients, I'm speaking to what their true essence is and not trying to align you to what I feel is the best way for me to live, because that's in no way the best way for you to live. And I think that's what makes this program really different. Sometimes you do healing programs or pathways that say that they're giving you an individual experience, but in reality, you're just thinking, oh, I have to do things exactly like they've laid out. Otherwise, it's not available. I actually really like when someone comes into the program who is quite different than me, and the way that I've been, raised to think, because it really gets me thinking and gets me creating. How can we get out of some of these mental binds or blocks or barriers leading you to feel disconnected to yourself? So I do think it's maybe important to know as well that sometimes that's intentional and sometimes it really does feel guided. There are times where I'm a little bit uncomfortable with how firm a message comes through. And I'll realize sort of after, because it doesn't feel like it's me speaking all the time. And that is, a little bit more on the spiritual aspect to the work that I bring. But there also is no real heavy expectation on however someone wants to interact with the spiritual components of this course. What I feel I'm teaching is a bunch of different really helpful frameworks of thinking, of understanding energy, of understanding your emotions, and as well of a really cool pathway to do archetype healing and really view yourself as a much more full person than I would say a lot of people give themselves the opportunity to in their lifetime. And with that really expanded view of yourself, you're able to take on more. And so sometimes a softer message is exactly what you need, because you've been putting yourself through the healing ringer, and you just need to be comforted for it. And there are times where that's exactly what I feel called to share with someone. I celebrate all of our successes and wins. And there are other times I really lay down the business. And it's sort of a running joke because people will be like, oh, get the heat off me. All right, Kate, that's enough. But at the same time, we kind of have to have that humor in healing, because you sort of have to laugh at yourself for almost ignoring what is really true. Because once it's known to you, once it's true for you, and I think a lot of clients find this, once something becomes true and known for you, it ends up feeling almost silly that you didn't see it that way before. So really, that's my intention. I hope that that's what usually comes across. But it's good to know, soft or stern or honest or kind of like conceptual, abstract. Sometimes I'm direct. Sometimes I'm very rational. Sometimes I'm very optimistic. It really depends on what's needed from the group and also for the individual. And I hope that excites you, actually. I love the variety that adds to our work, and every single Empath Energetics round and every single Empath Energetics session is different. So there is a lot of validity to coming to every session, or at least watching the replays. because then you'll be able to see what are these changes that are happening to all of us over time. And also, you'll be able to see lots of different tools and techniques. Like Aimee mentioned, I teach a lot of different tools and they show up at random moments as well. Not all of them are structured. Hey, this is what we're doing today. I am listening and, maybe rifling through way more healing suggestions and giving the best ones for the group forward. So it's always the best to bring your full self to these groups so that you can get what you need out of it. And then also your individual time in the one-on-ones will be a lot more rich because I'll have a lot more background going into your story and being able to help with some really deeper level healing in those one-to-ones. So if you're interested in empath energetics and these videos are reaching you in some kind of way, I would highly encourage you to book a session with me, book a meeting with me. Just come and talk to me and see whether this is a right fit for you, whether it's a good fit for you at this time. I am very flexible with understanding, many people require payment plans. And I'm also really, really pumped that I can keep this course at a value that I think really makes sense for the work that goes into it, for yourself and also myself. And I'm willing to help anyone make it possible, make it happen. If it's something that really calls out to you, then Empath Energetics is right for you. And it's not right for everyone, which is why I like to meet people beforehand and just check in, make sure we have a human connection before we would get into a really deep 4-month journey together. I've been really blessed that a lot of the people in the previous, like the more recent rounds, have not ever worked with me before. And that's a deep level of trust. And I know that it comes from feeling the call and knowing, looking at some of the subject matter, the material on the website, that it goes, yeah, this is it for me. So if that's feeling like you're really, ready to expand your energy, develop your intuition, get to know yourself on a really good, long-lasting kind of level, and develop more of your self-healing tools, get your empath sensitivities in check, then I would love to have you join us in the next Empath Energetics round, beginning early April 2023. So feel free to book a call. The early bird offer ends at the end of February and includes a free hypnotherapy session, which is a value of over $300 US. So I'm really excited to be able to give that to anyone who's super excited and ready to sign up for empaths, because then you've got something to do in March as we wait for Empath Energetics to begin. I always hate signing up for something as an early bird and then, a whole bunch of gap time happens. So that's my way of resolving that. And also doing more hypnotherapy sessions, because I know how much they're helping people and they are really exciting for me. I think they're exciting for clients as well. So I would love to see you there if it is reaching you in some kind of way. Let's connect.